And but the thing about this is kind of vulnerable too because somebody else could pick it out of the bowl and read it for you. But you can also choose to just hold on to your own thing and you can say your own. That makes sense. Structure.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can do more than one.
I did. I understand it all. I follow instructions. That's right or wrong.
It's like you don't have to. Right for maybe another minute or so, and then we might start sharing.
Who made this tea? It's good. Is it lemon pop? Is that what it is? I don't know what it is. It looks like water. Yeah. But it's lemon pop. She brought it. It's good. It's interesting.
productive conversation where we can talk to each other, of course, listening first fully, and then looking up for questions and responses or anything. But yeah, I feel like we all have to learn from each other in this room. So if anybody does want to, oh, yeah. I think they all kind of relate. So you can just say whatever question you have an answer for. Or we can start with the first one. Did anybody write about that first prompt, which was a challenge you overcame by losing it to your separation? Okay. Does anyone want to share that? And I feel like I want to do a quick intro too because I do want to introduce people, amazing people who have taken time out of their busy schedule to be here and shine their light. Each one of them has a very unique light. We'll start with my friend Jazz, the founder of Rap, who owns the Collective out of the Lighthouse. You're an amazing yoga teacher and you're an amazing friend. And your art is crazy too. So, I respect that.
You are a little louder and we're just a little louder.
How's that? Better?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Jasmine. I'm here from Vallejo, California, and I'm the founder of Radical Wellness Collective. I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a healer, I'm a somatic practitioner, and yeah, I'm grateful to be here.
Very good.
Up next is the queen of Oakland, y'all, my mother.
Hi everybody, my name is also CJ. I'm CJ, the second, that's CJ the third. And I am born and raised in Oakland. I'm the founding CEO of the Black Cultural Zone, which is a community development corporation in Oakland, holding place for Black culture in Oakland for generations to come.
Can you talk a
Can you
little
hear me
louder?
okay? Is that it? Okay, I'm Alexandria Pierce, 4AP. I own a hair oil company called Alkaline Oil, and I am also the president of Wolf, which is West Oakland Library Friends. We have implemented food access and education programs, and a lot of stuff around grocery giveaways, healing, crafting, those types of things. And I'm also a PhD student. My focus is on philosophy, religion, and women's spirituality and Black maternal death rates.
There you go. What's your name again?
Alexandria, Amy.
Hey.
That's me.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chazzy, or Chaz, if that's easier for you guys. Hey, I'm just regular girl from Berkeley, California. I am a full-time student, getting my degree in business administration with a marketing and sales concentration. Part-time barista, full-time fur mom. My dog is at home. And I also teach classes here at Obsidian every second and fourth Sunday, doing sewing class with Chaz. I have my AA and apparel design and merchandising as well, so I have put that to use and started doing classes here since around October. So yeah, if anybody ever wants to stop by on the second or fourth Thursday, I'll be here to teach people how to sew and get some of those fundamentals down so they can be more self-sufficient in the crafting space and just knowing how to do things for themselves. So yeah, check us out.
My name is Kara, and I am a teacher. I've been a teacher for many years, mostly of very young children, but also all the way up into adults. And right now, I'm trying to pour into my own business, which is called Genius Sprouts, which sprouted my time in the classroom with kids. But I do all kinds of things. I'm all over the place. Right now I'm trying to create spaces for teachers to come together and kind of like pull out something good within themselves that they can ground themselves in, so they come into the classroom from a more grounded space and creative space, and then they can create space for students to be able to do that for themselves too. And so I've been hosting workshops in weaving and natural dye. We did natural dyes here. I didn't know you were doing so. I'm excited to do good. Yeah. So textiles has always been my way of staying alive, and I'm trying to share it with others more now. And I'm also working on a project called Future Traditions, which is trying to like make that bigger and create markets for create support for people to just really lean into the thing that makes them thrive and share it with others. Yeah.
Thank you to our panelists for being here. And we're starting off with sharing our first question. What is one challenge you overcame by leaning into your divine feminine energy? So I said, as you're able to move your hands. You want to start? Everyone's so nice. I'm getting my 200. Just set the tone.
Challenge overcome with lean into my divine femininity. Women are creators, obviously. In the womb, you bring life into the world, and I think it's really more of an everyday thing for me with the organization that we have, and really started with an idea from Eastside Arts Alliance around the Black Culture Zone, and just people getting that name. It was like, well, what do you do with it? And how do you do this? And where do you go from here? And as AP knows, we started in UB's Oakland, and it really is about leaning into the fact that I have the power of creation inside of me that is femininity, and that we can do this. And it really is about just accepting that, not questioning that, and trusting that what we birth will have labor pains, will have lots of things, and you're bringing life in the world, and I am capable of doing it. And that just helps them a lot.
Yeah, thank you for the question. I really resonate with it, feeling like an everyday thing. I wrote down challenges of discernment. So anytime where it feels like maybe I'm crowded or there's a lot coming at me and I need to like weave in and out and figure out what is the way or what is the answer. Those are moments when I really need my intuition and I need to come home to myself and my values and what it is, what my why is, or what my whys are. And anything having to do with intuition, with that coming back to self, feels like deeply, deeply rooted in that divine feminine of how am I making sure that I'm pouring in to myself and to my whys. So, yeah.
I think for me, I have always embraced being a lot when I fully lean into it. Like, you know how folks will say, oh, you're a lot, you're a little too much, you have a lot going on, or you back talk, which wasn't really the case, right? You know, when you're outgoing, when you're all these things, I think folks try to shrink people in general, but I feel like Black girls, Black women, we are often expected to shrink. So leaning into that and walking away from spaces that did not feed my soul, that were full of patriarchy, misogyny, all of those things, I think that is the challenge that I was able to get over and realize I can conquer, I can do anything. And then when I became unapologetic, I've always been unapologetic about my community and wanting us to advance, be deserve of everything, all of the things, but really, really stepping into that when I was like, I am too much and I'm okay with that. It allowed me to really, really, really like, oh yeah, like I'm doing whatever I need to for my community, for my place.
I feel like I have to say something because everybody else said something. Just kind of piggybacking off the other ladies, just going into that place where, yeah, I'm just more accepting of myself as a young young woman. Because I feel like I'm still kind of at that Britney Spears stage, like not a girl, not yet a full woman, even though I'm like at the age where I'm a full woman. But yes, learning to lean into my intuition, use my discernment a whole lot more. Being able to now like reflect and look at women that have came before me, my grandmother, my mother, and just like their situations that they have been in, and how can I overturn and work, something new? How can I break certain generational curses or just hurdles or anything like that? And yeah, just really coming into my own and feeling the femininity. I feel like sometimes you can really feel it, you know what I'm saying? So just getting into it, feeling it, letting it resonate and do this thing and seeing where that takes me.
I think this theme of intuition and trusting yourself is where I'm at too. And I think I'm thinking about just being in the role of the person who's in charge or like holding space for lots of children as a teacher. There's a lot of pressure of like, this is the way, like there's a way you're supposed to do things. And getting to the point where I allowed myself to like feel what felt right for me and not the way I was supposed to do things. And often what feels right for me is tuning into like the group. And the way you're supposed to do things is tuning out the group and like holding steady to that. And so there's this poem that I wrote and put on my wall, and my students and I would like sing it, read it together a lot, and it was I am a work of art. I can teach, I can heal, and I can survive with my art because I am a work of art. And I feel like it just made me think like I need to practice what I teach. And so what I'm trying to say is like being in a place where I can also see myself as a work of art, and the thing that I have to bring is my art, and everybody's art is different, and the way I do it is different, and I'm not going to be like so and so and so and so and so and so, and that might actually make me more effective. And it's so easy for me to like want that for children, but it is so hard for me to allow it for myself, and so yeah.
Those are all amazing responses. Thank you so much. We're going to open it up to anybody else answer this question or want to share. Does anybody have any questions from what they just heard? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, do it up tonight.
Everyone, how y'all doing? My name is Chadu. I've been to Obsidian a couple of times. I went back to Obsidian for the seed day. Going back ever since. I guess for me, I think it's trying to be part of more crowd, more female crowds, more rooms, majority of one that more events where you see women and learn from them.
Also, I just want to say, Sonia was able to make it to our panelists as well. Say happy birthday. You can just vibe. It's vibe. But Sonia created the sauna here. She created this whole healing, holistic corner of Obsidian that has really brought the value of the space up so much. I mean, I want everybody to check it out because you can really, really feel it in that space. And I was in the sauna for a second. She had me sweating. She had me jumping on the trampoline. Like, she will get you right with your heart and it feels real. So, thank you for being here. And then, did anybody else in the crowd want to share through this question? We can also move on to the other questions. I'll get into the last question, but what everybody had to say was truly beautiful, spectacular. Okay, the next one was, how do you decolonize your femininity or your womanhood? I wonder if, oh wait, I actually did answer this for you. This was the only one I answered. I can start and then we will go back around. Okay, so I said, I decolonize my womanhood by loving my flaws, feeling my feelings unconditionally, shedding past versions of myself when necessary, and in the desire to one day be a mother, I feel a purpose to make humanity better than I found it. That's how I decolonize it. I feel like anything that goes against those things is colonized. So you just get over it. Yeah, just to protect me, to protect me.
I was thinking this morning about this question, and I think for me, it's like trying to get away from this crime and punishment way of thinking, and I apply that to myself a lot. And it's, I always remember when I was a little kid and we had an assignment at school and we had to do adjectives, and I had to pick an adjective that described myself. And I couldn't follow the rules and pick just once. I picked two, and the ones that I picked were guilty and curious. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, I have this thing where like there's a part of me that just feels guilty. And I went through these phases of like, okay, well, the best thing I could do with myself is like revolutionary suicide. And now I'm at a place where I feel like the best thing I can do to, you know, honor the gift that I have of being alive is honoring the gifts. And that's not a punishment. Like, I don't have to punish myself in order to have the right to exist. Like, it sounds so crazy to say out loud, but yeah.
How do you decolonize?
I think the way, like me personally, the way I decolonize is just being myself. Kind of like when we were talking earlier, just how you know what I am. Actually, it might be a little too much for you, but that's for you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else is gonna be just enough, baby. Period. But so yeah, so I think I decolonize my community by just being in it, being myself. I feel like more recently I've been like, yeah, like really leaning into it, like having some like walking past the mirror, ooh, like them fine moments or whatever. And so I'm like, yes, girl, you don't have on that much makeup, like the hair is hairy, like you got edges still, girl, yes. Like so just feeling it and going along with my community and accepting myself and all my flaws and stuff. I think that's how I
I said, by stating and embodying my positionality or my standpoint as a Black woman, a womanist, which is rooted in Black womanhood, it really takes like a kitchen table approach. So like feeding folks, and I don't even just mean literally, but also literally through like food access and justice, but nourishment in other ways, right? So anyone is invited into the house. We're here to organize, we're here to improve things, we're here to love on each other. We will have some tough conversations, right? We might snatch up people's solutions, but it's all in love. And so I think for me, that is really it. When I understood, when I came to understand womanism, which centers the lived experiences and lives of Black women, but is concerned with the wholeness of all people, essentially. And until we are liberated and until we are free, nobody else will be free. So I think that is the womanism for sure.
So decolonizing really makes me think about the choice, that there's a binary choice. That it has to be either or, yes or no, black or white, Christian or, and the ability to reject that. So I spend a lot of my time kind of saying both and, right? And you know what, you are right and I am also right. And we can both be right at the same time. And saying yes and what I'm saying does not mean it's mutually exclusive to what you're saying. So I spend a lot of time really trying to center myself in you're right, and I'm right too. And it's okay. And just rejecting any any decision say that I have to make a choice of either or, and that what's in the middle is absolutely correct. And whatever you choose works, and as long as the harm, you're careful around the harm. But I think, colonization required us to select a hell and a heaven and a devil and a Jesus. You don't have to do that.
I don't have much to add. My answers were all wrapped up in this. Yeah, what I wrote kind of focused on like that idea of like binaries being just absolute colonial bullshit is life that to us to keep us separated and to keep us in line with these rules that were always meant to keep people oppressed and keep people on top. I'm a land steward, and said I work with the land and the plantitas and the agritas, and I think that my like root point for that decolonization of feminism or of the divine feminine is in like being with the land and seeing that the land is just everything. Like I look at the fence, I'm like, oh look at her, and I look at the other, I'm like, oh look at him, and it just comes out because it's just all wrapped up into the land, and it's so fertile and it's so just everything, literally everything. And so I look at that and I'm like, oh, but I am that. So therefore I am everything. You are everything, and we are everything. And that's that.
Oh, again, another round of beautiful responses. I'm loving that people in this room right now. I'm loving our voices. It's really, really beautiful. We have 2 more ones. But this next one, I would love to hear if anybody in the crowd created an affirmation for their inner child. If anybody would want to share that. Yes, you want to share it? Okay, come on.
Thank you. That's especially a good one for me because of my generation coming up as children. You know, not a lot of affirmations for me. My name is Gail Dixon. I've been referred to as an OG. I am a minister, I am a former member of the Black Panther Party, and I am an artist. Thank you. And a lot of affirmation, not just for me, but for women in general and human beings in general, I guess, women in particular and human beings, period, is the affirmation that you are worthy, you are seen, you are heard, and you are of value. You are. I am currently working on a project of lifting up the empowering voices of African American women in history, as well as African women from the Bible. But right now, I'm just in I'm just in America right now. And when you listen to Shirley Chisholm, for instance, what you guys have said, she's lived it all. And she was probably the most visible example of what you all are saying in terms of the divine feminism. I knew what she had to say verbatim from memory. I have it written down. But she talks about the values that women have, and she lifts them up. And her main thing was unbought and unbossed. What an example, you know. And then there was Ella Baker, who was like, you know, it's time for women, we're revolutionaries. It's time for us to be revolutionaries, you know. And we have to change systems. And then there was Fannie Lou Hamer that said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I know I am, okay? And I assume that a lot of you are. you wouldn't even be in this space, you know. And a lot of our children don't know their worth, their value. They don't even know that they're seen and they're heard. So an affirmation from me to myself, to others, is that you are seen, I hear you. You know, I see you. What's that greeting? Isn't that an African greeting? I see you. You know, I see you, I hear you, and you are worthy, you have talent. You are human.
And we spoke those names after our ancestors entering the room as well. Thank you for saying their names out loud. We appreciate each of you for being here. Processing. Does anybody else want to share an affirmation for their inner child? No? Listen.
So, I wrote to everything. I didn't want to take up space because I know it's on this panel, but also like I didn't start to think I didn't write to I wrote to everything. But the affirmation that I will share is one that my Tai Chi instructor. So yeah, so this came from my Tai Chi instructor, and it's in the end, the soft will win against the hard.
I wish somebody had told me that before. The soft used to be like a, what's the word, like, yeah, it was like, yeah, insult. Soft used to be an insult. Yeah, but everybody loved pussy though. The softest shit in the world. I don't know. Anyway, does anybody else have an affirmation? Anybody? Mine, the one that I keep on my fridge is that I keep my promises to myself and I'm deserving of their outcome. And honestly, this goes for good and for bad, to be honest, but it's just something that I try to remember every day. Anybody else? No? Okay, we can go to the last one. You got one? Oh, yes, you're the affirmation.
Yeah, I just walked in, but I feel I'm worthy, and I feel that everybody that I come in contact with also is very worthy.
Thank you for shining that compassionate light through the space. That's what I'm talking about, and that's honestly, that's hard. Sometimes you bump into a stranger in the grocery store, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, or somebody, commits a genocide, and you're like, But at the end of the day, we're all somebody's child, and we're all going to go back to the earth, and I feel like it really does come down to us treating each other like how sweet we refer to each other just now, and supporting each other, and actually being there for each other, not for superficial for everything. So we're gonna shift into the last question, right? The last question is, what is one idea that you have to shift towards a more sustainable, patriarchal, and just society?
We're under a time constraint, so we're probably going to get back to this round here. But one idea I have, and I try to practice, when I put an idea out there, I try to practice it myself. And so I am working, I just told you I'm working on the painting project. But to recognize our ancestors, our historical ancestors, Sankofa, and the value and the empowering voices that they have given us, that is constantly being devalued and buried and crucified and tortured, and let's see, really will rise again.
Absolutely. How can we move forward if we don't know what's behind us? If we're not really able to see it, learn from the generations that came before us. You in the panel want to share your ideas as well? I had thrown my idea into the anonymous role where someone's going to guess. I'm the only one throwing in there. So I feel like I might as well just say what I was going to say. And then we'll go from you back on. Okay, I have two ideas for a better future. One, I think anyone who rapes a child should die. Period. Secondly, I think we should start growing. I heard this thing about there's a mushroom that like eats plastic. I think we should grow that mushroom
Yes.
a lot. Let it eat the plastic and then see what we could do with the
Yes.
original plastic.
Yes, it's in your blood.
Those are my two suggestions.
It's in plastic, it's in our blood.
When I think about living in a matriarchal society, I think about centering devotion and spirit. And so, like, I close my eyes and I picture this decolonized, abundant world that we are building, that we're working to. I see like altar spaces everywhere. I see sacred smoke every single day. I see ancestor plates that we don't eat a meal that we are just eating. We put a plate out for the ancestors. I see offerings to the land. And I see this being like in school, like kids learn how, like what does that mean? What does it mean to cultivate your own ritual and your own acts of devotion? And what does it mean to be accountable to something that you cannot see, touch, feel, hear, or smell, or whatever? In my lineage, my mother's lineage, we are indigenous Maya, and there's one of the days in the Mayan long calendar is Milk, and is it's called knowing. It's translated as knowing. And our belief is that there is not only 5 senses, there's 13 senses. I can't name all of them, but the idea is like we can't name all of them. That is just it, but they are there. And we are deeply like in relation. When we are in right relationship with ourselves, we are in right relationship with all of those senses. And or we know which ones that we might not be in right relationship with, and we're working towards that because we have that idea of accountability to those very things. Because our bodies and our lives here are very, very limited, very, very short. But when we leave, we don't actually leave. We then become those ancestors. And that is where you then are able to like affect that knowing and where you're able to speak to those other senses and then have some sense of effect on this world that really needs that guidance.
I just struggle. This is what I'm going to say. The No Norms Festival. Celebrating the usual and unusual and trying to create a normless future. Accepting the scientific methodology has gotten us to think about what is bell curve. And that the things that have a standard deviation too far away from the center, if there's something positive, very positive, and very negative about it, and I think that's bullshit. And so I would love to see how we decolonize how we think about things to accept it all and not judge it all and not be forced to try to put it in a bell curve.
This one I center Black women. That's from the standpoint that's where I'm coming from. This is the only one I will read exactly what I wrote. But believing Black women, trusting Black women, protecting Black women, and heeding Black women, and just women and folks in general. But we are always positioned to advocate for, to teach, to nurture, to feed, and care for everyone, and we rarely, if ever, get a thing to do. We are not protected within our own community, nor are we protected and cared for outside of it. I want to bring back the village model approach, centering women as appreciated matriarchs who are reclaim and rest, discernment, and ancestral ways of knowing. I would love to continue partnering with women in the community to serve, build, heal, practice communal care, and ensure the wholeness and survival of our people. Centering environmental stewardship, maternal health, culturally appropriate healthcare for our community, education, financial literacy, and civic engagement in ways that advance us. Buying land and houses in once historical towns and cities so that we can reclaim our communities and towns and people.
An idea I had for just colonizing is for us to just kind of like reclaim like history that has been lost. Keep with the stories. Like my grandmother's side of the family, like a lot of the women get dementia. And so like while my grandmother is like still here, still like, what was your favorite? You know, like I try to get all as many of the stories and stuff I can out of her. Like my mom is a chef, so it's like, bro, we got to start back again, write down the recipes. We got, you know, we have to preserve all these things that have kind of been lost or just now like word of mouth or like folklore and you know things like that. Just keeping history going and keeping rituals and things like that going if that's something like your family practices and like knows, keep those traditions going because as we get older and like the younger generations come, like I can just see like I'm like, I don't know, let me go. What kid is you again? Who, you know? And it's like that stuff is kind of like not being preserved. The family is not necessarily being preserved as it should. So I think the emphasis on that and yeah, preserving family, preserving community. It doesn't have to just be your auntie recipe. You know, you might know somebody from down the street, you know, that cooks good, and it's like, oh, share. We're sharing is caring. So I think that's something we should do to kind of decolonize everything. Get everybody on the same track.
Everything that everybody said, it's like it's the big systems and the small things. Like, we were just asking you this morning, what's your recipe for your black eyed peas? Like, and I'm thinking about what you were saying, CJ, about the binaries, and I want to get rid of work and school. Like, and I feel like I've spent so many years thinking about how to get rid of school, but school's there so people can go to work. And you know, there's a lot of people that have found ways out of school, but not everybody can do that. And part of it is because, you know, everybody has to go to work. And so how can we, like, be together, you know? So I'm thinking about that a lot, of how to create systems so families don't have to be separated like this. Like, children working actually doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, we want to work for our kids, like we want to contribute to something. And so, but we have to create a thing for children to like look forward to. Because right now, there's little to look forward to. And like, yeah, we have to build systems that they deserve to be a part of, or that deserve them. You know, but like the big idea for me is like, we can't just get rid of school, or we can't, you know, so one thing that I really want to do, just a small thing, is making more time to get together with women that are trying to run their own businesses or find ways to, you know, my big thing was like, I need to get out of the classroom because I don't want to be trapped in a room 5 days a week for this many hours, and I did that. But now, like, what's next? And so, and we know so many different little things, but we don't have enough time to know it all. And so, just making space to get together with my friends and other women, like, what are you learning about business? What are you learning about how to not be working fucking 60 hours a week, you know? And then how can we share that knowledge?
You know what? I absolutely agree with you. I think we should all get dinner sometime this month, next month, whenever we're all free. We should set up a plan. We should, you know, and we don't have to save the whole world. Like, we don't have to be everybody's superwoman, but we can support each other. And I think this is the time for us to all let the community know how they can support you specifically with what you're doing today, tonight, tomorrow. We're being jazzed up. You know, we got an event next Saturday, you know, so it's little stuff like that that really does make a difference. And if you want to shift into this type of sustainable world, just support the people who are already here. Take it from there. So does anybody want to kick off on the sharing? And this is the hardest part too. I know we're doing this sometimes. As an older woman,
I'm 2 years from 80. I just want to say before hearing you all. We don't, I mean, I hang around older people, so I don't get a chance to hear these fabulous young ideas, especially about the sexes. You know, we don't use what we have. We just use a small portion of our brains. And the more you use your brain, the smarter you get. Okay? So it's just my affirmation is appreciation for you all. And keep it up!
Okay, I respect that we all
I
do.
want to just, because we get, can I just say one? Do I need, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I want to piggyback off of what she said. I hope y'all stay home and stuff like that, because I want to get to But I just want to say, first of all of you are so beautiful. Everybody here is so beautiful. And I'm not talking about just your appearance. I am talking about your appearance, but I'm talking about your spirit. I love the fact that you thought of putting this together. So praise the Lord. Okay. Now, that and something was you talking about the mushroom?
That's just a classic.
No, you know what? That is an affirmation in and of itself. When we had the pandemic, that was Mother Nature said, y'all be still and I will heal myself. And I will help you heal yourself. I will show you what to grow, what to eat, etc. I'm so glad because I've been thinking about all that plastic in there and going up into my mind, and I'm like, oh, I got to stave off Alzheimer's, I got to stave off Alzheimer's, But the fact that there's hope, that offers hope, and that's what's happening here is an example of just one of these little examples of hope coming in and grounding itself and saying that I don't care what you think is going on out there, hope is going to heal. And you all are just an example of it right now. And I love it. And I thank you for the invite. Thank you, Ms. Carol, for the invite. And I hope to hear more about you and see more of you. And actually, I'm older than her. 5 months. Less than 5. And I talk crazy. Yes.
So yeah, don't forget we have fruit and tea in the back for your pleasures. And if anybody wants to share how we can support it, go ahead. You want to share?
Please visit our website, blackculturalzone.org. Everything is there. Lots of events, lots of activities, and also we love partnering with folks who are in like mind in any way possible. People say I'm super, super busy, but I'm never too busy for our people. It may take a while, but Black Cultural Zone.org.
I don't like personal things, but I did bring a few flyers and things like that. So I apologize if that's not the same thing to do, but I just wanted to be aware for everyone. A few different things. I have a website which is The Alchemy Oil. I own a hair oil company. I'm also the president of Wolf, which is the West Oakland Library Friends. We are on Instagram, but please also plug the West Oakland Library. We were chatting earlier. It's one of the most amazing places in the world. Obviously, I'm biased. My family has been in West Oakland for almost 100 years. I have so many memories there, the infirmary, Adeline, all of the things. But we have a lot of amazing programming and events. We have access to food justice programs. So please follow us on Instagram. We have a landing page, but things are not quite up. So follow us on Instagram to see where this thing is going. And I think that's everything for now.
I guess my shameless plug.
my shameless plug is just my Instagram and my TikTok. That's where you guys can find me and also find out more information about the classes. Again, I do sewing class with Chaz every second and fourth Sunday here at Obsidian from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We have a class coming up, not this Sunday, next Sunday, and we are doing creating pattern blocks, which are kind of like the stepping stones for people to be able to make their own garments and their own kind of like pattern pieces. So we're just creating the blocks and stuff. Tickets are on sale. I sell the tickets. The link is in my bio and everything. There is also a class calendar that's up. So it has what we're doing from this month up until like June, what the classes will be. So you guys want to check that out. You guys can check it out on Obsidian's Instagram, my Instagram, and that's where the information is.
Making your own pattern blocks is not easy, so this is like, you rarely find people that will teach you how to do it. So it's like, I have an Instagram as Genius Sprouts, and there's like links on there to the different things that I'm doing. But I guess right now, like the only thing that's coming up, I'm doing a handmade journal workshop at Diamond Park. It's free. That's on a Sunday, April 26th, in the morning at 11. If anyone wants to come, we're gonna sew the pages and then put a letter cover on it. But beyond that, I'm like planning out some series that are making things from scratch. So the first one I'm going to do is a weaving series where we learn how to dye yarn and then build our own looms and then weave it. But that is in the works. But you can just find what I'm up to on Genius Sprouts. On Instagram.
Sorry, my Instagram is so much more to CK. Or you can look up my name, type in Chazzy, CHAZNEY, and I'll pop up.
Jazz, Sonia, if you want to share.
So you can follow my Instagram to stay in touch with me or stay up to date. Radical Wellness Collective. As CJ mentioned, we have 3 events coming up. Bud Bloom Bee Fest. The first event is this Saturday. It's in Vallejo. These are intergenerational, kind of like, what do I call it? Not a day party, but like intergenerational gathering to be enjoyed to celebrate the village. The second one is going to be in Oakland in June, so stay up to date on either of our Instagrams. And then the last one is going to be in the fall, and it's going to be here at Sitting Healing Camp. And that's going to be kind of focused on like joints. So we're going to really get into like herbs and teas and so yeah.
Thank you. Sorry I was late, everybody. I got my session with the random, but so I created a sauna sanctuary space, and we do an introductory $75, and it's for 3 hours. I completely pamper you. I show you all the equipment that we have, how to use it. It's a self-service wellness center, so once you know how to use the equipment, you can come anytime and sauna and use the devices. I have everything like energy medicine devices to biofeedback equipment. CJ just did like the very basic, which is kind of like got her heart rate, her energy going, and then got her in the sauna. But we do massage, we do facials, we have hot stone, we have basically all the things that happen in there. But the point of the space is not, it's a community space, so if you have an offering, you can use the space as well. But it's more for like you to do self-care and learn how to build yourself. And now we do an intake where we kind of ask you like what your goals are, or like things you want to focus on, and then we kind of build out a like, program for you, and then we kind of put you to space at your convenience. So I also do work with like the local food pantries who are developing an app to make food more accessible to the community and actually cater it to people's needs. Like we're getting away from like canned food, more fresh fruits and vegetables, and then people have dietary restrictions, which with the things that we keep into consideration. People don't eat certain things, like have allergies and whatnot. So we're trying to make it where it's kind of more customizable and then kind of like scheduled for pickup. So we're working on that. We're building it out. It's a new thing, but yeah. So if you like to cook or have special recipes, we have also cooking for the community. So if you're interested in any of those things, let me know. And continue to come to Obsidian. There's a lot of offerings, a lot of great people here. Every time you come, we're going to meet someone amazing. And thank you for your support.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you've done to create this space, maybe even more beautiful, more intentional. Y'all, that has been the entire women's panel, and I want to thank you to everybody who's shared their voice, everybody who participated in any way, big or small, especially my panelists up here. You guys really are doing amazing work, and your character and your energy speaks for itself. But we appreciate you and speak that to you. But we really don't get there. We know that. All of that is free. We do need to get a picture. I've been back for our best. Whoever has the best phone, Shay's gonna take a picture as well. I'm just kidding.
Saturday. Yeah. But we have one. Yeah, so we'll go see I didn't even know, like my story. I'm like, obviously it's okay. Like, yeah, when I actually started to have the classes,
this weekend, I'll have to really get into making a whole lot. Yeah, I already have the
Always got the next thing.
Yes. Next Sunday. Next Sunday, evening. Yeah. I am, it's on a day, usually a birthday, on the 26th. I know.
And then I realized bye, everybody.
Bye. So it is gonna be a standard block, but, you get it, that's fine. You know what I'm saying, for your own public, but I'm also doing. Exactly, I will do a class too on Saturday. I wanna say it's gonna be with capital class, where, teaching people how to demo, so I'll get it off their own. Not take their own measurement, but like basically, if you want to make a skirt, I got to wear the skirt, you know, already, and how you can do the pattern. Yeah. Yeah, in June, that's that. I do not teach aerial sides. But as you were talking about, that's kind of what I'm looking like for things that are creative in my lane. So I can kind of transfer right now. I didn't have a job and my dog, take care of her. But like going back into the workforce, like after like almost 2 years and just like that type of work, I'm like, oh, like a crazy intertension between my coworkers. Now we're on a fucking rush, and it's just so many drinks coming in, and this and that, and everything, and people like it's too much. It's too much. I'm like, oh, it's out. Yeah, I gotta take my way out. And that's hard. Our senior classes,
It's not like these partnerships. I'm
I think that
That's all I'm saying. I'm getting tired of waiting. I'm getting tired of waiting.
That's been the women's panel. Okay. More than half.